Good morning and welcome to our Bible in a Year series. We're on week 27, so if you've made it this far, you've hit the halfway stage, so well done with that. There have been times, I suspect, when it's been quite easy, other times when it's not been so easy, so well done for sticking at it. In week 27, we are reading together, to begin with, chronologically at least, 1 Chronicles. We're finishing 1 Chronicles. And you'll see that it ends with a few lists, but then it also details how David, knowing that Solomon is going to be the one to build the temple, has made all sorts of arrangements for that to happen. And then we read of the death of David. And with that news, we finish 1 Chronicles. We have a number of Psalms which are listed as well for us to be reading day by day as we go through our readings, and then we read 2 books of the New Testament, just as we did last week. This week those books are Colossians, and in Colossians we see a community that is in all sorts really of turmoil over the fact that there are so many opposing philosophies and religions in that place. There are so many people who believe other things. It's a very synchronistic place, if you like. A lot of you'd say it's multicultural, that there are lots of different belief systems. Christianity is just one amongst them. One of the things that the believers in Colossians are assaulted by is the feeling that, you know, you can have true fullness by doing some other way, then you'll be truly full of God. And this gets refuted by the author Paul to the Colossians when he talks about the supremacy of the Son of God in chapter 1 in Colossians, and then in chapter 2 he talks about in Christ the fullness of the deity dwells, living there in bodily form. So if you want the fullness of God, look at Jesus, because that is the fullness in there before your very eyes. And it reminds us again that Christ is all that we need. There's a story told of Martin Luther, who was distressed by his lack of spiritual progress. He prayed to 3 saints every day. He flogged himself at least once until he fell unconscious on his cell floor in his monastery, and he went on a pilgrimage. He climbed the holy steps, ended up in Rome, climbed those on his knees, but still he found no peace. And his Father Superior asked him, if you take away relics and pilgrimages and prayers to saints and all these devotional practice, what will you put in their place? To which Martin Luther replied, Christ. Man only needs Christ. That's how the Reformation began, and it's how we can be personally reformed as well, as we realize that we have everything we need in Christ. People offering special seminars or extra experiences need to know that all we ever need is the fullness of Christ, and we tap into that. Then what we have is Philemon, which is a very short letter sent by Paul to Philemon about a slave called Onesimus. Onesimus was not much use as a slave, and he got to the stage where he thought, I'm just going to get out of here, and he ran away. Really serious thing for slaves to run away. He ran away to Rome thinking he would hide out, but however it happened, Paul becomes aware of him and needs to pave the way for him to come back. Now, normally slaves coming back could be crucified, so this is no small thing. Apparently, if you were a really merciful slave owner, then instead they decide, well, we won't crucify you, we'll just brand you with a red hot iron with a great big symbol on the front of your head, which means fugitive, someone who ran away. But Paul is saying to Philemon that Onesimus, we've got to send you back. We've got to send Onesimus back, but actually he may have been useless to you, Philemon, but he's been really useful to me. Well, coming back, I think you'll find he's useful. Now, we know that Philemon had a church meeting in his house, and we know as well that, or we strongly suspect that Onesimus has had this change of heart and realised he needs to go back because he's found faith in Jesus. And this is a great reminder to us that if we find faith in Jesus, then it's not enough just to pray a prayer or to make a declaration and then just get on with life the way that we were before. We need to make amends for some of the things that we've done in the past that just weren't good. And what a brave guy Onesimus is, to be going back to Philemon and to be throwing himself on his mercy. But it's a reminder to us as Christians that exactly the same things happen to us. You know, we have done wrong, we've been forgiven, and we've been sent back to go and do what we can in order to serve the Father. So well done again on making it to the halfway stage. We are now on the homeward stretch. Everything's downhill from here. But I do pray that God would bless you as you read these and not only learn more about him, but love him more as a result. Bye-bye.